Hey, we're on the internet. All right. Well, we will be at some point in the future, maybe in a week or two if I ever get around to posting things. Um, yeah. So let's see. I don't want to keep us too late tonight. I'm already kind of running behind here. So let's try and do a quick recap. You guys had crash landed on an unknown planet. You had teleported to the next of your worlds. I believe this was the fourth world in the chain of temples of the Wind Dukes of Aki that you had been searching out the words to unlock the Rod of Seven Parts with. And upon crash landing, Reggie made the stunning realization that you had entered an area called Clownspace. And he told you that there would be nearby one of the words. So going out to look for this word, you guys had stumbled across what looked like a giant circus tent. I do not remember who you guys had with you for NPCs, if you could refresh my memory. I don't know if you had anybody with you or not. I think Nib and Nob were staying to work on things. Venadia, I'm assuming, is doing something below decks tonight.
We had one of the drow with us who was a tracker.
Okay, red shirt drow, heard. Yep, that's right.
And I think maybe one other person that was brought along, but I can't remember for the life of me who it might be.
We might have had Ashnak with us. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, we did.
Make sure that I got everybody on the table. Make sure everybody's sized correctly. What's like the hardest part is if I create a mini for one map and I have it sized to that grid, then like try and import it into another map. Sometimes they are not on the same page. Okay.
These maps don't come preloaded with Orc Marines.
No, go figure. Well, I mean, some of them they do. It depends. What you have to do is actually go into the Steam Workshop, and there are literally 10,000 mods for this game for Tabletop Simulator. Like, this is not by default like a D&D or RPG engine. It just works really well for that, for my purposes. But they've got all kinds of miniatures for all kinds of different games. Like, there's a big like Warhammer fan club on here that plays Warhammer online, and it's, if you think about it, it's so much cheaper. You buy a license for this game, and then somebody 3D scans and uploads their miniatures into it, and everybody can have their own army for free, essentially. So it's like playing by proxy. You don't have to invest thousands of dollars to be able to be a war gamer on Tabletop Simulator.
That's awesome.
Not sponsored yet. One of these days, I'll get one. I'll get a check in the mail for like $2 from eBay for the year, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, Bill has thousands of dollars worth of Warhammer 40K shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Like, I probably have a couple $100 that I've bought just because I like the miniatures, and I'm like, oh, these are cool, and I'll paint them someday. And then they sit on my shelf. Sometimes they get assembled. That's for like hardcore painters and enthusiasts, though. Like, I can't get into that.
He goes to like tournaments in other states sometimes for it.
Yeah. And that's how you increase your army, is you win tournaments, essentially. Like, you can win like prizes and stuff. But I can't jump over that fucking cliff. You know what I mean? There's no way for me to come back from that. I would be broke for the rest of my life. And I'm already dealing with that. So yeah, so you guys have come across this circus tent with your entourage here of we'll just call him Red Shirt.
Oh, hey, I have two quick questions.
Okay.
Are we recording yet? And if not, I have another question.
Yes, we're recording.
Okay, well, I'll ask at the end. I'm wondering about some like weed processing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is better.
I'll ask at the end.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll leave that on there as bonus information. Stay tuned, kids. If you're here for alternate reasons, if you just like to hear us bullshit about weed, then wait till the end of the episode.
Subscribe to the future Patreon for the after show.
I do not endorse. I do not endorse children smoking weed. YouTube, please don't fucking cancel me.
Now that John Fetterman's in Senate, though, it's only a matter of time before it's federally legal, right?
Oh boy, something. I hope so. That'd be great. Moving on.
Let's if we can at least get to the point where it's declassified from
Yeah,
Schedule 1, that would be awesome.
yeah, not having to worry about, having a Fed knock on your door for something stupid like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. So you guys have arrived at this large circus tent, and after a few passes around, you finally discover that there is in fact a door. It just is a very neatly folded flap that kind of pokes open, and you step into a fairly large circular entranceway. It doesn't really match up with the outside of the tent. Like, it's pretty close in size, but it seems to be like maybe this is a little bit smaller on the inside than the tent. And in this space, you see 3 doors. A red one, a green one, and a blue one, in case that's not showing up on your guys' screen. Double check, make sure that got... Yep, I think we're roughly centered for OBS here. And yeah, all around you, you kind of smell this strange smell. It's got like a sickly sweet smell to it. Something like you would smell at like a county fair or a circus. So that kind of jibes. And you're not sure, but you're not quite sure what the sound is that you're hearing, but every once in a while you just hear squeak, 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 somewhere's off behind the doors.
I reach out with my magic to see if I sense anything as far as like where the word might be.
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check.
$25.
Okay. You get a pretty clear sense that this thing is somewhere's in the bowels of what you can only assume is the Temple of the Winddukes. Somewhere's under this tent. It's almost as if these clowns that Reggie warned you of may have constructed something over the top of an ancient temple. And it's kind of the feeling you get. Like, you definitely get the same sense of magic as you did at the other temples.
Do I sense anything about the doors?
No innate magic.
Anything like as to like which one might get us closer to the object, or no?
No, there's no like you don't get like a heads up display or anything like that. It's just kind of like that somewhere, like if you kind of pointed down at the ground in front of you from where you're standing across from these doors, like you'd be like, oh, someplace down there is the word.
Well, does anybody in the party have any thoughts on which door we should choose?
He likes going straight ahead and suggests they take the green one.
Aranith is good with that since she has an affinity for plants.
Okay. If there are no objections, then you guys enter through the green door.
Guys, when Reggie said there was clowns here, he meant just, some jokers, right?
Aranith shrugs as she cautiously hops on her broom.
I mean, I'm not scared, but I'm pretty sure Agnak looked nervous.
Ashnak looks over at you and he's like, what in the fuck is a clown anyway? I don't understand this shit. Like, you mean like them goofy-haired motherfuckers that come around with the face circus every once in a while and paint up their face and shit?
Aranith shudders a little and says, yes, like that, but far more creepy.
Huh. Well, I always did want to punch one of those motherfuckers in the face. Let's see how this goes.
Do you think we could just blow this place up from the sky?
Yeah! Attaboy!
I wish we could, fellas, but I do need to get into the actual temple and not have it destroyed in the process.
Right, search and seizure mission, Ashnak says, and he says, I tell you what, I can take either old red shirt here or one of you and go through one of these other doors if you want. We'll do a little recon, and we'll meet back here after you go through that next door.
Maggie says, "Why don't we stay together? We don't know what's behind any of these doors. We've got a demon god chasing us."
Right, power in numbers. It's a good thought, Chaplain.
Meredith hops on her broom and just keeps close to everybody.
Okay. So you guys head through the green door then, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So you enter a room. Wait a minute. I'm gonna fuck it up. I might have fucked it up. Ignore that. Oh, you're a little off center anyways, right? There we go. You didn't see anything.
Ignore me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
That was such a good Ventures Brothers episode.
Make sure that my other stuff is off camera here so I can do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Wow, I was smart. I was so smart I fooled myself. So the six of you step through the small green doorway, and find yourselves on what appears to be a ledge. Maybe we'll put all you guys over here.
Can we see what's below?
Yes, as you step in, you can see glowing before you kind of an ominous sphere pulsating with green, pink, purple light. Your DM did not pass his animation class, so it's pretty static. And it runs down into a deep void beneath you. All around you are kind of crackles of energy coming off this globe. Like imagine like one of those plasma globes going at like full throttle all around you, like hitting like a Faraday cage, and you guys are kind of standing on a ledge just inside this door. Red shirt guy kind of looks at that and he says, strange, it's as though they're harnessing the power of electricity somehow. They've learned to capture lightning in this sphere. I wonder to what end.
Sounds stupid. Let's go.
Alright, you see no obvious exit from this room other than back into the room from whence you came. And as you enter the green door, Tohan, roll me a perception check. Like all of you are kind of walking back into this green door. And I might mention, sorry, I should have done this beforehand because, again, your DM's kind of a stoner. As you entered the green door, you were in a small little chamber, and it sort of functioned like a revolving door. It has one door and then opens the door on the other side of you, very like, Star Trek or other movies from that time period.
22.
Okay. So you definitely notice something about the weight of the room shifting as you enter into this little, like, kind of elevator type device. Not so much that you're moving, but you sense something wrong with, like, the gravity of the place. Like, almost as if you're flipping over, but the gravity is still staying at your feet. And as you step out of the door, you now find yourself not back in that main chamber that you were in. There we go. But you find yourself in another large round chamber.
Maggie tries to poke her head back through and double check that. She's trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely confusing for the like I would think that Tohan kind of gets the idea that maybe you guys were flipped, somehow the passage changed and you did not return obviously to your original room. Uh the others among you are all very confused right now and don't understand how you got here instead of back to the room you just came through. First assumption maybe some sort of magic or portal or something like that. As you enter the room, you the first thing you notice is these large pink kind of globules hanging about from stands and hooks all over the room. Uh, the first thought you have about what it looks like is sort of like a maybe like a meat locker of some sort, except for these things that are hanging all seem to be these large sort of pink cocoons, very fluffy and lightweight. Um, you would have probably heard of them called in Turil or Faerun as fairy floss, a delicacy or treat that sometimes uh, people would eat at carnivals and things like that. Similar to what we have like cotton candy. There's many of these things hanging at various little stands and things. On the other side of the room, you do see another door. At
Does it look like they're set up for sale, or like does it look like a storage room or like a public facing kind of thing?
maybe a perception check. Let's see what this thing. Let's see how you do.
20.
Okay. So I think that especially with your knowledge of kitchens, this to you seems arranged like a storage or like a pantry of some sort. This is the immediate take that you get on this is like this is some sort of food substance being stored like in mass.
I pick one up and put in the bag of holding.
Okay. The large kind of ball doesn't weigh very much at all. It's actually very light, although you do detect kind of a, as you move it side to side, there's a little bit of like a liquidy imbalance in it. And you put it into the bag of holding and it just goes right in there, slides in. As you do this, a small green light begins blinking in one of the corners of the rooms. And you hear squeak, 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 squeak from the other side of the door. Like the door across the room, that is.
Guys, I think there's a bunch of mice over there.
He looks around at the cotton candy stuff and looks for mouse damage.
Roll me an investigation check. See if you see what I think you might see.
19.
Okay. So, although you do not see anything that appears to be like rodent teeth marks, which you are very familiar with, you do notice something strange. In several of these container or these cocoons, if you will, there are what appear to be fairly large puncture marks, maybe as much as 3/8 to a half inch across, where it looks as though something has been poked down into them and then removed. And the cotton candies that have more of these puncture marks in them appear to be sort of more deflated than the others.
So it looks like somebody's been eating them, maybe, or
it looks like they're removing something from them, possibly. As you continue your investigation, looking for like kind of any chew marks or anything, you kind of brush your hand across one of them, and some of the sticky substance gets stuck on your hand and tears away. And as the cotton candy cocoon spins around, you're revealed with this sort of humanoid skeleton soaked in a Icarus, maybe candy-ish goo. It looks like a bunch of melted Jolly Ranchers all over it, or like a caramel-coated skeleton, perhaps. And it's even still sort of partially got some skin on there. It's a pretty horrific thing, you know.
Maggie tries to hold her lunch down and tells Tohan, "Hey, that might not be good eating."
Aranith goes a little green. Does Aranith notice this as well?
Yeah, you can see what Maggie's doing. You're kind of watching what Maggie's doing, and that's pretty obvious when that happens. Like as
Yeah,
the thing's just turning around, and you all get a glimpse of it.
Aranith goes a little green and says to Tohan, "You might not want to keep that."
Right. You should probably bury it though.
Is there anywhere to bury it? We're on like stone.
Yeah, you guys are actually on what appears to be kind of a like a corrugated metal surface. Like it looks like it's been riveted down. The floor has, and the walls. Now that you're looking at them, they appear to be made out of a strange sort of like cellulose type of material, almost like a really hard plant material.
Aranith tries to reach out and see if she has any control over it.
Your plant magic doesn't really have any effect on it. It seems like if this was some sort of a plant fiber or something, it's already dead and been used. The squeaking on the other side of the door is now much more hurried, and there's a brief kind of clatter on the other side of the door before it swings open, revealing what appears to be a large, 8-foot tall or so person dressed in strange clothing. Pay no attention to their names, they don't matter at all.
How tall is the ceiling in this room?
Oh, probably about 10 to 20 feet, somewhere's in there. Like it probably arches up in the middle, kind of like a little dome.
Aranith rises up about 10 feet.
Okay. There we go. It seems that as he just walked in, he has not noticed you yet. He just begins kind of looking around. You see him survey the situation for a moment, kind of shrugs, goes walking over to one of the cotton candies and pulls what appears to be a large straw out of his shirt with several bends and twists in it. The largest silly straw you've ever seen. He proceeds to stuff this straw into this cotton candy cocoon he's standing near and starts taking a drink out of it. Ashnak looks at you and says, "Right, there's only one of them. Let's take him down."
Maggie puts up her hand and the gesture is like, "No, hold on. Can we get a full view of what he's doing?"
You can peek around from wherever you guys are standing. Like Ariane's up by the ceiling, kind of, so she's visible, but he hasn't noticed her because he's just here for a snack and to check out what the alarm is.
Aranith is trying really hard not to make any noise while she holds dry heaves.
Those are all very valid points. I would say all of you should probably make a constitution check at this point to see if you are so disgusted by this display of humanoid cannibalism that you have an adverse reaction to it. We'll say a DC check on this is probably like a 12. It's not, like, it's gross, but you're like not right on top of him, so it's not, you're like more disgusted in philosophy than you are in practice.
Maggie got a 10, so.
Alright, Maggie, you take 1 point of psychic damage and begin to vomit.
Aranith got a 14.
Okay.
Yeah, natural 20.
you are able to choke down your lunch. Tohan, you're like hungry. You're like, man, I could go for a snack. Red shirt guy also begins to throw up. Ashnak is starting to kind of move a little bit around the corner to take up a slightly better position. At this point, the clown turns and sort of sees and hears Maggie throwing up, and it's sort of dim eyes seem to kind of get a little bit of a glow to them, and he reaches in again to his shirt, leaving the straw stuck in the cotton candy, and pulls out what appears to be what we would call a bicycle horn, and he gives it 3 loud honks. What? At which point, on the other side of the door, you can now hear squeak, 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 as a ton of these things seem to be approaching you rapidly. Please roll initiative.
Fine.
3.
9, 3,
20.
rolls in here. Which Alright, so Tohan, it's going to be you up first.
All right. So I can see this thing. I can see it's a clown or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you're looking dead at it.
Yeah. Tohan's probably shaking, and he pulls the Horn of Valhalla out and starts just blowing it for all it's worth. So that summons 4d4 plus 4 Berserker Barbarians.
Excellent. The advanced chipper shredder maneuver. I like it.
So 16 Berserker Barbarians show up.
Jesus. And they go, I'm assuming, right after you, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless you want me to roll initiative for them.
No, that's okay.
I got their stats pulled up.
I would assume they function pretty much like Maggie's defender.
Yeah. When they show up, I'm just going to yell, kill all the clowns! All of them!
Okay.
And then he's going to rage.
Nice. Dohan must have had a bad experience at the circus. All right, and are you doing any movement or anything, or no? Or is that your turn?
Yeah, he's going to back up all the way to his back's touching, like, the door, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
He's pretty happy to have his 16 warriors.
Yeah.
Fucking...
All right, let's see. Do the old.
I don't know if they can attack this round or not, but
It just got very crowded in here.
yeah.
Aranith is very glad she's on her broom right now.
Now, if I was clever, what I would have done is put hit points into the first one and then copy pasted all of them. Well, coming out of the doorway at the end of your turn is another 3 clowns pushing out through this doorway in a comical Three Stooges fashion. this is when you notice the three of them seem to be holding something similar to the firearms that Munley and that annoying GIF were using. They all seem to have some sort of gun in their hand, whereas the first one just he just had his straw with him. Now he's holding
Hanfo there.
horn.
That was the GIF.
Yeah. Hamfo. Yeah. Okay, so I believe. I mean, I don't know if it You said it doesn't specify whether or not they get to go this turn. I'm going to assume that they do, just like the summoned celestial.
Okay, yeah, they'll probably run up 4 on each.
Okay.
And then they're all going to attack recklessly. So, and then they get a +7 to hit, and then you do. We can just say 11. That's the average.
Okay.
So. First one got a 22. Second one got a 23. Third one got an 18. Fourth one got a 22.
Okay. Were any of them natural 20s?
No.
Okay. The clowns do not appear to take any damage.
Okay.
However, at the last moment, one of your barbarians with his strike does manage to just clip one of these guys on the tip of his nose. And as he does, this clown begins spinning around in circles like a top. Like just absolutely whipping around in circles. This bright light begins coming off from him, and then he pops in a small explosion and splatters what appears to be whipped cream over several of your barbarians. Causing them to make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. Otherwise, they take 10 damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
One passes
Okay.
of the first 4.
Alright, yep, yeah, there was only 4 in contact with that guy, we'll say. Okay, so he takes 5, and the others take 10 each.
Okay.
Alright. Let's see. After that is going to be the clown.
There's still 12 more to go. These things.
Oh,
Each one was attacking recklessly. The
okay.
next 4 got 2 18s, a 19. I'm sorry, these are plus 2 natural 18s and a natural 19, and then a 12 plus 7, so 19. I don't know what the EC is on them, but
So for this particular encounter, there may be a little homebrew added here. These clowns only take damage on a critical hit directly to their nose.
okay. Well, none of those 4 did it. Next 4.
We will say one of these guys is dead, however, so there's only 3 of them in the room.
Oh, one got a natural 20 in the next group.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and roll damage for those guys. These guys actually don't have much for him.
22.
Okay. So yeah, he's already bloodied. Like it must not have entirely splashed his nose open, but it got him.
Last group. No natural 20s.
Okay. So no go. It seems as if your barbarians are hacking, slashing, biting, fighting. They're attacking these guys in full force. And these clowns seem to be almost just not even caring. Like they're standing there, sort of looking more shocked at the fact that they're being physically assaulted than they are damaged by this. The one does, like probably one of the barbarians punches one of the clowns in the nose, giving him, like bringing him down to bloodied state where it actually did damage to him. And this, of course, enrages the clowns. So the first clown is going to put his hand out to one of the barbarians as though to shake his hand. The barbarian, looking kind of confused for a minute, thinks it's an offer to try to wrestle. And as he takes his hand, what is his AC?
14.
Okay, so he seems to kind of shake off getting a light shock. He does not take any damage, but it's like essentially the clown hit him with a joy buzzer. The second clown draws his firearm that he's holding. This thing is like bright neon colors. It looks essentially like a super soaker with maybe some parts tacked onto it. He aims at one of the nearby barbarians. That is a nat 20. So he hits one of the nearby barbarians with, it's going to be 14 psychic damage total. And if he has an intelligence score of 3 or higher, he must make a DC 12 wisdom saving throw.
He has a 9 for
Okay.
intelligence. He has a -1 in intelligence. DC 9, you said?
DC
Or-
12 wisdom saving throw.
All right, so this is -1. 18.
Okay. You can see the barbarian break a smirk, but other than that, it doesn't seem to have any effect. The third clown also takes aim at one of these guys. Same thing, zaps him with his ray gun. You see a bright streak of light shoot off on him. And that is a 14?
14 hits.
Okay.
I mean, he gets advantage too. He attacked right away.
Oh, that's true. So then it's going to be the same thing, DC 12 wisdom save for him, and he only takes 7 on the regular hit.
13 on a save.
Okay, so, and again, this one looks over at the other barbarian that got zapped and gives him like a little knowing grin, and you kind of hear the two of them chuckle a little bit, but then they're right back to being focused. Let's see, that is the clown's turn. Red shirt guy, seeing this, charges towards one of these clowns, diving into the mix. He tries to get behind him, perhaps to perform some sort of backstab maneuver or something. However, the clown sees this. Alright, seeing this, the clown attempts to strike him with a large mallet pulled out from behind his back. This mallet is so large that you can't figure out where it came from. He was not holding it a second ago, as though it just appeared there through force of will. It's a very slapstick attack that he has. He does, however, miss the guy, so he doesn't do any real damage. Let's see, so red shirt guys gets to make his attack real quick. That does not hit. He is now standing behind that clown. You hear him shout out, "Damn!" Right after red shirt guy, Ashnak circles around, fires off several shots from his sidearm. That's a miss. And that's a miss. So he fires off a couple of rounds and they zip harmlessly past these clowns, but the clowns do kind of turn their attention toward him. Maybe a few of the cotton candy bags are punctured and begin leaking fluid onto the floor. And it is now Maggie's turn.
How far are we from them?
Oh, you're still kind of by the door where I originally had you.
How many like feet away is that?
Oh, not far. Like the room itself is maybe 60 feet wide total, so you're probably like 30 feet from them, we'd say.
Okay. She's gonna get well, I guess just from where she is, she'll fire off a. Well, no, she'll get her 35 feet closer. Or, sorry, 30 feet closer. And then send in the frying pan. Aiming for the nose if that's possible.
Absolutely. So, what I'm going to do for called shots on the nose, you guys can roll at disadvantage, but if you hit their normal armor class of 13 with a disadvantage attack roll, then you are able to make the critical hit. It's like a pick and choose, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So you can either try your regular attack and just try to get a critical hit, or you can roll at disadvantage and try and hit a 13.
Okay. She'll throw a guiding bolt first.
Okay.
So whichever clown hasn't taken damage yet.
Yeah, none. Like theoretically, there's one that has. That would be one of these two guys over here.
Cool. So 27 on the guiding bolt.
Okay.
And 17 damage.
So did you roll at disadvantage or was that a nat 20?
No, I rolled. I didn't roll at disadvantage. So
Okay, so we need one more roll then.
25.
Okay, so that hits. Yep. And when you hit him with the guiding bolt, you said it was 27 damage, right?
Right.
Okay, so
Or-
he is bloodied.
Sorry, no, 17 damage.
Oh, 17 damage? Alright, he's not quite bloodied.
Okay. So that clown is glowing now, and she'll throw the pan at the same one.
Okay. In case you guys are wondering why these seem kind of souped up, they are currently in their lair, and certain creatures in D&D have lair actions, and this is my version of their lair actions. Even though they don't come with it, I figured this would be a fun spot for them to have some, because, you know, clowns, circus, Clownspace.
Enough. All right. So with the advantage from guidance, I guess should I just
So
roll?
that will cancel out the disadvantage, and you can just roll regular then.
Okay. And also, are you saying that there is an option between like rolling as normal without disadvantage, but if we do that, it basically is just going to do nothing? Is that right?
Yeah, if you do that, you have to hit a critical in order to get them.
Gotcha.
So like,
Okay.
it's got to be a natural 20 at that point.
Right. Okay. So 13 to hit on that.
Okay. And that was at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they canceled out.
Regular roll, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so yes, that is the armor class 13, so that is a hit.
Nice.
18
18 damage from the pan.
Okay, it is now very bloodied, with its nose beginning to kind of drip blood. You can sort of see it already twitching and like shaking, and like maybe holding in some of that light, as though it's still trying to hang on. Alright, so we had some movement, we had an action and a bonus action, correct?
Yep.
The pan went,
Yeah.
so you are all set.
Yep.
Ariance, it is your turn. From your vantage point, you've got a pretty good view of the show here.
Can they take damage from saving throw spells or only from direct hits?
You would have to try and find out.
Alrighty then. Well, I'm gonna cast True Strike at one of them to get insight into the target's defenses.
Okay. Is there a save for that or no?
I'm sorry?
Is there a saving throw
No,
for
that-
them for that, or it's just
Nope.
automatically? Okay.
Automatic.
All right. So, you detect these things are, and again, this like I can kind of picture this as coming up similar almost to what the Eye of Agos would do. So you get a good insight into their stat block essentially. Maybe just
Yep.
because that's the most familiar way that you have already seen it. So that just kind of happens with your spell as well. So you see they are strong, dexterous, and have incredible constitution, and also an incredible charisma. Even though they are like horrid and kind of scary and freaky and creepy, there's some strange like almost animal magnetism to these clowns, where like you kind of are in awe of what they actually are. Like these things are such strange creatures, um, and they don't seem to have any particular like stat weaknesses. They are at worst as good as the average human. Um, they excel clearly in acrobatics, performance, and sleight of hand. Uh, you're sure that they have dark vision. Uh, they are not particularly tough monsters. In our terms, they have 58 hit points, a speed of 30 feet, and an armor class of 13. You've already seen that they can explode acidic whipped cream on you when they die, and heard their squeaky shoes. They do not have any particular weaknesses. They are not particularly resistant to things, but as part of their lair actions, when inside of one of their lairs, they may only be killed by a direct shot to the nose, which requires a critical hit to hit, as laid forth a moment ago. But other than that, it does tell you that they are spellcasters, although not known for their high level of spells. They have some level of innate magic that they can use, and in particular, their clown tech is regarded widely throughout the universe as one of the strangest technologies or magics that exist, as it only works for clowns. So this kind of gives you the insight that their ray guns, if you try to pick them up and use them, will probably not work for you.
All right. Can I say I use my free action to broadcast that on the mental channel for everyone?
Absolutely. Yep, you push out the stat block to everybody else, kind of.
All right, and then I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to cast. Let's see. Sorry, I have to get back to it. Shocking grasp.
Okay.
Which, how far away from them am I?
Up in the air, like probably a beeline would be about 30 feet or so. Like you were probably right above Maggie.
All right, so I'm gonna use another. I'm not sure off the top of my head how many spell points it costs, but I'm gonna use another amount of spell sorcery points to give myself turn a touch spell into a 30-foot spell, and then because I cast True Strike, I get advantage, so that cancels out the disadvantage, and I'm going to roll to hit.
Okay, and was this on the clown that had been injured by Maggie, the clown, or the clown that had been injured previously by Tohan's barbarians?
Which one's more injured?
The one injured by Maggie, I believe.
Let's go for Maggie's.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, they're both bloodied. We'll put it that way.
All right, and I got a 30-23 to hit.
Okay, but you were already at advantage, so cancel out your disadvantage. So yes, that hits him. What's your damage?
That is 12.
All right. So that's going to kill off one of these clowns. Just say it's that one. I don't know.
All right, and that would be my turn.
All right. So this comes back around to.
The clown exploded into whipped cream.
Yes. Speaking of which, that's going to
Maggie-
be a saving.
Maggie laughs and then looks embarrassed. She's like, "What am I laughing about? That's crazy."
So within 5 feet of the clown, so that's going to be, we'll say 2 of the barbarians and red shirt guy. Toan, if you want to roll a saving throw for the 2 barbarians, red shirt guy. Rolled his 12. He's
This is
fine.
for Dex.
Wait, that's right, I don't need
yes,
to.
dexterity.
One got a 10, one got a natural 1.
Okay, so they both take 10 acid damage.
Zach, I forgot to ask. When did we like teleport directly? Like, has it been less than an hour since our last fight?
You guys did teleport pretty much directly, but I think it took you a short while to march to the where you found the circus tent. So it's probably been about an hour.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. So after those barbarians take some damage, Tohan, it is your turn.
After hearing Arianth let us know what their weak spot is, I'm going to say, focus on their noses! And each one's going to attack recklessly, but with disadvantage, so I guess that'd be a street roll.
Yep, that'll cancel it out. Now, once the barbarians have some direction there, it might turn the tide quite a bit.
I don't know. Okay, first one got a 23, second one got an 18. Third one got a 12, fourth one got a 19.
Okay, so that's 3 hits.
33 damage.
Alright, that one's dead. Floop.
And then, what, 4 more dex saves?
Yes.
Uh, 16, 16, 6, and 7.
Okay, so dex save was for 12. So the last 2 take 10 fire, 10 acid damage as well, and the first 2 take 5. Okay.
Okay, that's 8 of them. There's still 8 more to go. I'm gonna try to pile on this dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
However many can. I don't know if all 8 of them can, but
I would say so. They're barbarians. They can figure it out. You ever seen barbarians fight?
all right. So 12, 23, 18, and 23.
Okay.
For the
So this guy has not taken any damage yet, so roll me the damage for the 2 hits.
22 damage.
Okay, he is now bloodied.
And then the next 4.
As long as you get 2 hits, I'm assuming that he's probably going to die as well.
One was a natural 20, and the other was a natural 19 and a natural 18.
Oh, he's done. He's so donezo. Even on minimum damage, they're probably going to destroy him. So yeah, the red shirt guy goes, "Oh, typical barbarian fashion. They stole my kill," and then looks up, sees Tohan, and goes, yeah."
No, it's funny because it's always true. All right, guys, I want you to go through every fucking room in here, and if you see another clown, just kill it.
All the barbarians are, they're into it.
All right, let's hang back here a second while they clear out the rest of this fucking place.
Okay. So you guys are literally just gonna stay in here and let the barbarians go through the areas?
Yeah, I guess we could, if there's a body in every one of these cotton candy piles, we could just put them in kind of like the center pile and maybe make a funeral pyre with the sugar. I definitely have some flask of oil.
I like that idea.
Okay.
Aaronith has no problem with creating a bonfire for this.
She wants to try to identify, like, try to get a sense of what this humanoid is, or I don't know. Yeah, she's curious.
Yeah. So you could do a little examination, as you're taking these bags and piling them in the center. Like the occasional one will rip and stuff, and you're able to kind of look at them, and you can tell there are elves, dwarves, goblins, all sorts of creatures. You even see one that appears to have like a face full of tentacles, indicating that these things are capable of potentially taking out mind flayers. No small task, as you might all know. It seems that they're indiscriminate, but the one thing that these beings all share is they are all humanoids of some sort. It appears that clowns exclusively like things with 2 legs and 2 arms.
Maybe for sapiens.
Yeah, exactly. They are strictly sapien diet. Okay, so let me send your guys in through the door here. As the
It lasts for 1 hour. I figure
Okay.
they can fuck a lot of shit up in 1
oh,
hour.
yeah, I'm sure they can. Let me see if I can remember how to get my zones to work here. That. Add one. I'm gonna take one away. Damn it. There we go. Bingo. Okay, so the next area that the barbarians enter into, we'll say that after each room, maybe one of the barbarians quickly reports back to you and lets you know what goes on. He tells you that in the next room they encountered a room that was full of mirrors, and it was sort of like a labyrinth of mirrors. And he said that there was nothing in there, but they did report hearing squeaks going on. It maybe took them 5 minutes to get through this little maze. It wasn't particularly complicated. It just kept going and having some dead ends and stuff, but they made their way through. In the next room, they report back that there was a room filled with smoke. The entire room just absolutely clouded. And although it took them maybe 10 minutes to find it, they did in fact find what appeared to be another door with a large red button next to it. And as is typically advisable in a situation with a large red button, one of them pushed the large red button, and several of them fell through a trap door, and they could not be located in the smoke and fog all along the floor of the room. However, they pursued on. We'll say that 4 of them out of your 16 fell down through this trapdoor. He then comes back about probably a total of 45 minutes later, tells you that there was a clown ambush in a corridor once they figured out how to exit the room. Just a long corridor. They were able to fight these clowns off, kill several of them. He's reporting back now that at the end of this room there was what appeared to be a large hole in the ground with a pole running down through it. Several of his colleagues went down the pole, and several screams were heard coming up from the hole in the ground. We'll say 4 more of them disappeared into the hole and did not respond to any answers, leaving 8 of them. That was the last that he had heard, and he was planning on going back and joining them again. So they cleared
They
out.
only last for an hour, so
Yeah, so at the end of that, like, he pretty much gets back to like go investigate the hole, but he's not going to be able to get back to tell you. So, but at least you guys now know that the next few rooms have what dangers lie in the next few rooms.
guess we have to go to that pole hole.
Yeah, with that report, Maggie definitely doesn't want to leave him abandoned. Wants to follow.
And the stench of burning, sugary cotton candy and corpse is just choking you all out in this room now as well. Let's see, so we can get rid of our barbarians now.
Aranith starts flying lower with disgust since the smoke is rising and engulfing her, and goes through the door quickly.
Okay. So yeah, as you fly in, you notice like the ceiling kind of slopes down in that arch, and once you enter this room, it is now pretty tight. It's only about 6 or 7 feet tall, and all along the walls are just straight mirrors, all kinds of different concaves and convex, literal like funhouse mirrors that bend and warp your shapes. And every once in a while, you just hear squeak, 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 squeak. That's like playing Skittle Pool, trying to get you guys off that board. I did not realize it was going to do that. And as you enter in,
I stay on my broom and try to keep towards the middle, but towards close to the ceiling of the room.
Yeah, the passageway itself is only maybe 3 feet, 4 feet wide. It's not very wide at all. And but you're able to stay on your broom and just kind of hover down the center of this path. And it takes you guys maybe like I said, like 5-10 minutes tops to get through this. And there's no, doesn't seem to be anything really obviously like dangerous in here, but the mirrors themselves do give it quite an ambiance of like eeriness, like just this kind of funhouse quality. And as you reach the smoke room, I'll just delete that tile. In. I don't know why it's doing that today. I must have physics set different on it or something. It's like slamming you guys into the rooms.
I forget. Did he say push the red button or don't push the red button?
I would refrain from pressing the red button.
All right, red shirt guy, we're gonna leave, but then you push the button.
He looks at you very excited and says, "Right."
I say in a very loud stage whisper to the red shirt, "Don't press the button."
It's like, right. So you guys are standing at the door. Roll me an investigation check to see if you can find the thing that this guy described to you that was the actual mechanism to open the door. Whoever would like to. One person can search at a time.
I got 24.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of run your hands along the edge of the door looking for the stone that he talked about maybe being, or the panel on this strange metal wall. And you find it and it clicks in and kind of turns, and the door slides open and you are able to step into a long hallway. There. As you guys are exiting the room, you hear a kind of loud, like, whoosh noise of maybe steam or something. And you look back, and Ashnak is leaning back into the door and kind of like looks at you guiltily, and he's like, I didn't push anything. And just kind of scurries along with you, and the door slides closed behind you.
Aaron snickers.
Here on the floor lie the remains of several of these clowns, and by remains I mean piles of whipped cream. One even has a large red cherry sort of sitting in the center of it. You're not sure what the hell that came from or where it came from, but the walls, the ceiling, everything in here, and again, these ceilings are only maybe 6-7 feet tall, are just covered in this Icarus kind of mess. And as you begin to walk, you realize right at the edge of this kind of complete coverage, your shoes actually begin to smolder just a little bit.
Aaron starts using predigitation to clean everybody's shoes as they go.
Okay, yeah, you're able to like push it out of the way with that, absolutely. Just do the old bippity boppity boop. So as you all move forward, you get to the end of this hallway. And you see before you just kind of a large hole in the floor. Goes down into complete darkness. And there is a large, what appears to be like silvery metallic pole in the center of this running down, much like one of our firemen's poles. Red shirt guy goes, "I'll go first."
Maggie grabs him.
Good idea.
Maggie grabs him, says that's a bad idea, and uses the light cantrip to try to shine some light and see what's down there.
Okay, so you shine a light down into the hole, right?
Yep.
Okay, so as you do this, you can see that there is in fact a pole that slides all the way down into this kind of strange, like to us it would look sort of like this tunnel made out of latex that is just continually sort of flexing in and out. And at the bottom of this, you can see there does appear to be some floor down there, but there is another hole. And as your light kind of gets towards the, like, let's say if you were casting it down into the hole, I don't remember what the range is on your light cantrip. I think it's what is it, 30 or 60 feet?
Let me see.
Because I know you can cast it on an object, right?
Yeah.
It might even be just line of sight.
Let's see. 20-foot radius, then light for additional 20 feet.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say that if you cast it as far down in the pole as you could, you can.
Yeah, plus 10 foot of object. So yeah, basically 50 dim visibility.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So yeah, it's about 30 feet down. It seems like that this pole goes, and at the very bottom of it, you see the floor. And as your light approaches its kind of like end point when the spell is ending, a huge purple worm comes up just to that level of floor and clamps its mouth closed several times over, just chomping, waiting to dispose perhaps of any garbage thrown down into that second hole. But there is a floor underneath you as well, like there's a lower floor to this. So it is possible to slide down this pole and stop yourself before reaching the mouth of this large worm.
Thank God, guys, it's not more clowns. It's just a worm.
Is there any? Does it look like there's anything beyond that, or it's just like a tunnel to the worm?
The kind of tunnel itself sort of obscures your view of whatever is on the floor beneath you, but it does appear as this thing's kind of waving around, you sort of see like there appears to be like a room under this room, and then under that room is the hole with the monster.
Do I have a view of the worm enough to cast my True Strike and find out what the deal is with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I cast True Strike at the worm.
All right. It is a large purple worm. Bring up the stats for you for that. And if you'd like to look them up yourself, it's literally going to be Purple Worm 5e on Google. You'll find something, I'm sure. It's probably even on D&D Beyond. I'm not sure. I assume Monster Manual is open, yeah.
I'm sure it's a classic monster.
Yeah. Roll20 has it available for free, too. Let's see. So it is a purple worm. It is a burrower. It can burrow through solid rock at half its burrow speed and leaves a 10-foot diameter in its wake. Let's see. As far as its defenses, it is an armor class 18 with natural armor. Has 247 hit points, a speed of 50 feet, and a burrow of 30 feet. It gets bonuses to its Constitution and Wisdom saving throws. It has blind sight, tremor sense, and passive perception of 9. It is a very tough creature at challenge rating 15. And it makes 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its stinger. It's classified as a gargantuan monstrosity unaligned.
Do I sense that down there is the weighted word, or?
Yeah, the word definitely seems like it is coming from below you still. You do think, however, that it'd be possible to go down this pole and like land on that floor and not really be in any real danger. Like the worm is at least 30 or 40 feet under that, from what you can tell. Like it leaned up to snap. It looks like it's jumping up to try to get to the next floor down, but can't quite reach it. You definitely think this has got to be the way that clowns get rid of their garbage.
All right. Well, Aranith readies fireball and very cautiously, like, starts flying down towards the next to the floor that the worm can't get to check things out.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to proceed down through this kind of weird latex tunnel. Oh, that's right. I'm foolish. I forgot that I already added End Fog of War on you guys. Huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna slide down the pole.
Alright, so you slide down, and assuming that you intend to do so, you stop on the floor above this worm.
Mm-hmm.
You now find yourself standing just outside an open corridor that leads to what appears to be about a 5 foot wide tunnel, completely enclosed. It's only about 5 feet tall or so, so anybody taller than that is going to have to kind of hunch a little bit. And the entire thing appears to be slowly spinning. Not particularly fast, but fast enough that at the end of your movement each turn, I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw of 12 to make sure that you are not knocked prone by this thing's odd revolutions.
I assume
Yeah,
I can avoid that.
You are flying, so if you hunch way down, you will, however, have disadvantage on any sort of attack rolls or saving throws while you are in that position, because you're literally like laying down on your broom to fly through this without bumping into it.
All right. Well, I hunch down and fly through as quickly as I can.
Okay.
Is this like a conveyor belt thing?
No, it is literally turning around and around.
It's like one of those tunnels.
Yeah, like you know what the county fair at the fun house where they've got the big just looks like a big cardboard tube spinning on its side like a hamster wheel.
Yeah,
It's that, but this is like hundreds of feet long. So Ariane, you're able to fly what 40 feet per round?
50.
Okay, so you make it probably about a quarter of the way through. This tunnel's probably about 200 feet. Sorry, the map is definitely not to scale, but I have a rough idea of what things are. Ashnak follows you. He makes it about 30 feet or so. Anyone else that would like to go may do so.
Yeah, I'm gonna try dash.
Okay. So at the end of your regular movement, I'm going to need you to make a dexterity 12 saving throw. And as long as you make that, you'll be able to make your dash movement as well, and I won't make you do an extra one.
I fail it.
Okay, so you are knocked prone.
You know what? I'm gonna use a luck point.
Okay.
Why not? I fail it again.
Okay.
Wait, no. Yeah, I do. Never mind.
So yeah, you make it to 30 feet, but are then knocked prone by this kind of, it doesn't have necessarily a steady rhythm. It just sort of is like slow, then fast, then slow, then fast. So as you're walking, like the ground is moving sideways underneath you. And yeah, you are knocked prone for a moment. So when you get up, you're going to have to use half your movement speed.
Maggie rolled at 20.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
And Maggie, are you dashing as well to try to double your movement total for your turn, like using your action to move faster?
Yeah.
Okay. So your movement is what, 30? So you make it out 60 feet. So you're just ahead of Ariane. So on, you're back here at 30. Ashnak, he also falls prone. The red shirt guy standing at the entrance for a moment, getting ready to do his run, when sliding down the pole, make it all the way back down, comes two more of these clowns landing on either side of the hole.
Aranith yells, "Push him into the worm!"
The red shirt guy then turns around to try to block these clowns. He says, "Aye, aye, Captain, I'll hold them off." Let's see. So at this point, I'm gonna say we can go back to initiative. Do you guys want to keep the same initiative order? Because we can do that.
I would love to reroll, but
Okay, go ahead and we'll re-roll then. I'll leave it up to you guys whether you want to or not. It's faster to do it without re-rolling, but it's not really that bad to re-roll. It just requires a couple seconds for me to write them back down.
got 20 this time, so
Okay.
15.
8.
Alright, and well, red shirt guy actually got 20 as well. Ashnak, not so much. And the clowns, they got 8. Okay, so it's going to be Maggie, then red shirt guy. And I'll let you guys know what's going on. Should be Tohan. Variants. Clowns. Ashnak. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's everybody. Okay. So Maggie, go ahead. What would you like to do from the front of the group up here?
How far is she from the clowns now?
You are 60 feet from, we'll say, red shirt guy, so maybe like 70 feet from the clowns. And you
All
can
right.
totally still have your frying pan with you too, I believe, right?
It lasts a minute, so probably not.
Oh, okay, that's gone then. Yeah, I thought that lasted a longer.
Also got slower movement speed than her, unfortunately, which is annoying. So it's got a 60-foot range for casting, so she's just gonna start. She'll move back close enough to cast it, and then, she'll do the same guiding bolt and then pan.
Okay.
So,
And the pan's got to be within what, 30 feet?
no, it's a 60-foot casting range. It's just
okay.
like once it's been cast, it can only move 20, and
I
then
gotcha.
swing with 5. So
Okay, so yeah, you only had to move back about 5-10 feet then. You just kind of walk back underneath Arion.
yeah. Guiding bolt is 17.
Okay. And was that going to be at disadvantage, or was that your attempt at a regular crit?
Yeah. Well,
I should probably have you guys declare that before you
right.
roll.
I guess. Yeah. I just rolled one, so let's count the regular crit. But I guess my question is, does it still, like, if it hits them, does it still light them up? Even if
They don't. No saving throw on that. Is there a saving throw on it?
No, it's just like if they take damage, then they're lit up. Or if on a hit, the target takes 4d6.
Yeah, so no hit, so it doesn't do any of the effects either. If it was like a saving throw, I'd give you the saving throw effect. You know what I mean? Like I'd say they'd still have to make a saving throw for it.
Okay. Well, if it's not too late, then I'll do the. Do it the other way.
Yeah, that's fine. Just from now on, we'll have to have you declare before you roll.
Fair enough. 17 again. So.
Okay.
All right. So that will do.
How long does your guidance last?
Well, guidance lasts until something breaks concentration, basically. But the advantage from guiding bolt is just till the next time.
Okay, it's just a one shot deal. That's right. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's a one-off thing. So.
Okay.
So yeah, 24 radiant damage. And then so that'll just cancel out the advantage thing on spiritual weapon, right?
Yes. Yeah, so it'll just be a straight roll for a
cool
13.
So 26 to hit on spiritual weapon.
Yep, that hits.
14 damage.
So that clown is now bloodied. Takes a zap and a bonk to the nose. I believe that is your turn, unless you're going to move back to where you can actually move back farther than you were up the hallway.
She'll walk back towards the red shirt. She didn't want
to
leave my zone.
Right, so back there.
I probably should refer to him as the red shirt if I don't want him to die.
Oh, his name's Red Sheerte. It's a very very drow name.
Yeah, it's typical.
So let's see. Up next is Red Sheerte. He says he looks at the one that you just hit and says, "Thank you, mother," and attempts to attack him. Very dangerously on the edge of the hole over here, I think. Let's see.
Careful, young man.
And I didn't have him declare it either. Let's see. So that is not a nat 20, but we'll say that he was attempting it. That is a 19, so he does not do any damage to this guy on his melee attack. He tries to move back away from the clown, back up the hallway, after not hitting, provoking an attack of opportunity from this clown. Get in the hallway, mister. Oh, and Maggie, I'm sorry. I needed to have you make another
That's
Dexterity 12 saving throw too at the end of your turn. Let's see. This clown levels his ray gun at the fleeing target.
she got 13.
Okay, so you make your save then. So you are not prone. You are still able to stay on your feet. Let's see. So he blasts. He blasts Red Shirt Guy, who lets out an extremely melodramatic cry. Yag! And he attempts to make his saving throw and does not. Red Shirt Guy begins to laugh and laugh and laugh, and the smile creeps up his face. This effect is very similar to Tasha's hideous laughter that Arianthe is super familiar with. And yeah, this guy is just uncontrollably laughing at this point. So let's see. After Red Shirt Guy is going to be Tohan.
I think Tohan's prone, so he's going to use half his movement to stand up.
Yep.
And he's going to rage. And how far away are these guys?
About 30 feet or so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's got movement speed of 40 feet, so he's going to go to the guy on the left there and try to throw him into the pit.
Okay, yeah, you're just able to get to him.
Oh.
Tohan did a little dangle there off the edge. Alright, so attempting to throw someone, we can probably call that a grapple, right?
Yeah, however you want to do it.
Yeah, so we'll do it as a contested strength check. These guys are rolling at a +3.
Johan, are you stronger than a clown?
I don't fucking know. I get an advantage, and I got an 18, and I have a plus.
The clown got a 9, so you are easily able to how do you go about throwing him in there? Is it like pro wrestling style, or you literally just kind of shove him?
I was thinking more like I just grab him by his stupid face and hold him over the hole and let him go.
Nice. Yeah, as you do so, he drops, and this purple worm, within just a second, snaps him up, and you just see a bloody mess of clown parts getting chewed up as this thing kind of retracts back down.
The worm doesn't get whipped cream?
Maybe the worm likes whipped cream. I don't know. It's probably tasty. I can't imagine those things have the same digestive tract that humans do.
I mean, it rocks.
Yeah. As you do this, the other clown looks up at you, and it makes this kind of strange noise. It's somewhere in between a Chewbacca noise and Alvin and the Chipmunks. I won't try and even do an impersonation of it. That's just what it sounds like.
That's pretty. I can imagine what that is. That's a good description.
Okay, I was gonna say I'll try and pull it up on YouTube. No. Stupid Halloween interrupting all my killer clown stuff. YouTube is just saturated right now with clowns. But yeah, okay, so he makes kind of a noise at Tohan, essentially, that echoes out. You're not sure whether it's sympathy for his fallen comrade, anger towards you, or just generally clowning around. You're not sure. Let's see, after Tohan, so Tohan, you've used up the rest of your movement to get here, raged and attacked. So Arianthe, it is your turn next. You are at this point floating about 50 feet away from these guys. One clown is upside down. Jen, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
When I cast True Sight before on the clown earlier, did it give me information on what exactly the clown did cast on the red shirt there?
So that was his ray gun. It is a ranged spell attack, +5 to hit, range 120 feet, one creature. On a hit, it does 7 psychic damage, so 14 on a critical. And if the target is humanoid with an intelligence score of 3 or higher, it must make a DC 12 wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target perceives everything it sees or hears as hilariously funny, and is incapacitated for 1 minute. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember exactly how that worked. All right, and we still have one more clown sitting there.
Yes.
All right, I get within 30 feet of it, and I'll cast my shocking touch on it, because one of my things automatically puts it to 30 feet for it.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. I forgot. So that's a +9. Let's see. 14. And I aim for his nose.
Okay, so you are rolling at disadvantage.
Yes. Okay. So that's my first one.
14 would be good. Just gotta get higher than that, or higher than a 13.
Oh yeah, I got an 18 and a 14.
Okay, so you absolutely hit him.
And I do another 12 damage.
Okay. So you deliver this, like, I'm trying to picture what a shocking grasp at distance looks like. If it's like a spectral hand, like mage hand combined with shocking grasp or something. But yeah, it literally goes out and like honks the nose of the clown, delivering like a jolt of electricity to it. And the clown shakes its head, kind of grabs its nose, like holding its nose for a minute, and it makes a pantomime. Like it's literally rubbing its fists under its eyes like it's crying, but you're not sure if it's actually emoting like that or if it's just mocking you. It does not seem bloody.
I forgot. I didn't read it. I forgot to read this completely before, but on a hit, since it did I did manage to get it. It can't take reactions until the start of its next turn.
Okay.
And it's not wearing metal armor of any sort, is it?
Nope. It is literally dressed in brightly colored cloth, sort of exactly what you'd picture a clown to be dressed in.
Fair enough.
Weird, funky polka dot hobo clothes.
All right. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. After you is this clown. And the clown as his action is going to cast Spider Climb and begin to walk up the kind of sides of the walls here, back up towards the tunnel from which you guys came. And it makes it probably about 15 to 20 feet up into the tunnel once it gets back in there. It has to like go up the ceiling and stuff. But it appears that this clown is retreating at this point.
How does Tohan feel about seeing a clown spider walk up a wall?
And as he's walking up the wall, you hear squeak, 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 squeak.
Is it my turn or no?
You guys are out of combat at this point.
I'm gonna chase after him.
Okay.
I also have shoes of spider climb.
Oh my, excellent. Yeah, so he's trying to run away, so it would bring it back up to Maggie's turn if Maggie would like to do anything, and Redshirt is simply going to kind of collect himself after being cracking up.
How far away from them did he get?
He is about he's moved a total of about 30 feet, but he's only about 20 feet above you.
Okay. She's gonna send the pan after him. I guess a disadvantage, right? Because oh shit, 11, so that probably misses.
Yep.
All right, and then she's also gonna cast Toll the Dead
Yep, and he did take damage this turn.
The Wisdom 18 saving.
Alright.
Oops.
Aha. Their wisdom save is at 0. They do not get to add anything to it. He rolled a 15.
Nice. All right, so that is 16 damage.
Okay. Let me just double check something because I'm not sure if Spider Climb is a concentration spell for him. I think that maybe it is. The internet is wonderful. Oops. I like how my Google search just adds 5e after certain terms as I'm typing them now. It is a concentration spell, and with that successful attack on him, he loses concentration and is no longer able to be walking and therefore starts falling. So you, Toan, you're like getting ready to climb up the wall, and you see the pan go up there after him, and then you see Maggie cast Toll the Dead, and suddenly this clown just falls down, bangs his head off from the hole in the ground on the floor below, and goes whipping past and is chomped up by this purple worm.
I use the reaction to volleyball, spike him down.
Nice.
It's also, the spell is just like bells ring near its head, so I like that she's like, that fucking squeaking! Drowns it out with the bells.
Nice. What it's like I feel like the bells have got to be like some kind of like church bell going off, you know what I mean? It's not just like a clong clong clong. It's like Carol of the Bells, like clong 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 clong. All right. You guys are able to continue on your way here. It does take you a while, but you are able to get to the end of this spinning hallway. So spinny. Plonk, plonk. And as you reach the next area, there we go. Okay. You enter into a room that, when you first look at the floor, it's a little dizzying. But after a few moments, you realize what it is. It seems to be a actual map of the ship, or of the tent that you are in. Various tunnels and things showing up are kind of highlighted in different colors and things. It looks sort of like a subway map all along the floor. So it's not super clear to you, but you do see a clear-cut exit from one of the central rooms back towards the room that you believe that you entered into. Before you lies 2 doors. Sorry, you guys are a little off camera here, aren't you? So there's a door on each side of you. One there. Red Shearte looks at you and goes, "Well, Captain, which way?"
Did we glean anything from like the map of the ship about on these 2 doors?
Yeah, I mean you can see that the door over here seems to just lead to a like a singular room with a single other exit to it, whereas this one seems to have several doors kind of stacked behind it.
At this point, can I use an Arcana check to sense where the stronger sense of the word is, or is it still?
Yeah, absolutely. You're on the same floor with it now. Go ahead and roll me that arcane check. Arcana.
26.
Oh yeah, you're pretty sure it's through this door over here, the one we're on the map. It shows several smaller doors. This gag doesn't hold up as well in Tabletop Simulator.
Well, I let everybody know where my magic says the word is, but ask if anybody wants to explore the other door to see if there's anything worth grabbing in there.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Fair enough.
Ashnak walks up to the first door and he says, "Oh hell, I'll open it." And he says, "Another door." Red Shirte goes, "Please allow me." And he walks up and opens the next door. He says, "Another door." Ashnak pushes past him, opens the next door. "Another damn door." And finally, Red Shirte opens the last door, and you guys are now confronted. Trust me, that scene is much funnier in the movie. This, and that. You guys are now confronted by what appears to be a very large, at first looks to you like some sort of a cross between a serpent and a fish, but upon closer examination, you realize this itself is in fact a door in the shape of the mouth of the fish, with fangs and everything coming down off from it. And now, far behind you in the tunnel, you can hear the clamoring squeak, 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 squeak of several of these clowns coming up this moving hallway. And as you look back, you realize that the clowns pursuing you up the spinning hallway are actually walking on the hallway, and as it's turning, they're just turning with it. So they're just walking in spirals at you, essentially.
Just a nice there.
So there is now dozens of these things pursuing you. And yeah, the way seems like it is down through this thing's mouth. So provided that you guys continue on your set path here. Sorry, this adventure may be a little railroady, I apologize. It's really hard to follow the plot of a movie without doing so. I don't know, which movie did I copy? I can't tell. You guys arrive in this next area. It is a hallway. This hallway is filled to the brim with balloons. It is several feet wide. It's a huge hallway. And you find yourselves essentially wading through these balloons. Hang on one second. Just make sure that I didn't. Okay, yeah, you guys should be able to do this. Stick you guys in kind of a line here and lock you together so that hopefully bad tabletop simulator juju doesn't happen.
Do I perceive anything odd or off about the balloons?
Roll me an Arcana check.
$21.
You sense there is some form of illusory magic at work here.
Do I notice? I ask anybody if they actually feel the balloons.
So when you ask, Red Shirte happens to be standing the closest to them. Says, "Oh, well, yes, they seem to be quite real."
All right. I say be careful of them.
Yes. Let's just get out of here as quick as we can, I would think. Oh, here's that tabletop simulator magic I was talking about.
I tell everybody to avoid popping or doing anything to the balloons and avoid touching them if all possible.
Sorry, I'm super amused by the physics engine right now. So yeah, you guys are making your way through this area. I imagine it looks about like that. And you're about halfway through this pile of balloons. So glad I locked you guys together. Smartest thing I've done all day. When all around you, in this pile of balloons, you start to hear squeak, 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 and it seems like it's coming from all sides, like in the pile of balloons. You can kind of see the end of the hallway as the balloons begin to clear out. You've got maybe like 30 or 40 more feet to get to where the balloons aren't a hassle anymore to allow you to walk through. Did you guys want to try to proceed quickly, or would you rather investigate the squeaking sounds amongst the balloons?
I will leave that up to you guys because I'm floating above them.
Let's get the fuck out.
Yeah, Maggie's booking it.
Okay. As you guys are just able to make your way to the edge of these balloons, several clowns pop out of the balloons behind you, pardon the pun, poking their heads up above you, or above the line of balloons, and begin firing their ray guns. One fires at each of you. There are 6 of these clowns, and several more are now following you through this tunnel, coming up to where the balloons first start. They're way back in the back. So they basically get one shot each at you as you are running for the end of this tunnel. Alright, first one, shooting at Arianth on your broom. That is a 13, which I'm assuming does not hit.
Actually, it does.
Oh, does it? Okay. You take 7 psychic damage, and I need you to roll a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw. Let's see, the one aiming at Maggie misses. Moving the keyboard. Oh.
17 on a saving throw.
Okay, so you are not affected by the ray gun's hideous laughter effect.
But I take 7 damage.
7 psychic damage, yep. Maggie, they missed you. Tohan is a dirty 20.
Oh, yeah.
Make me a DC 12 Wisdom save, please. Let's see, red shirt guy.
12.
Okay, so you just make it. You have a healthy little chuckle about something in the back of your head, like clowns are stupid toy guns. Red shirt guy ducks out of the way at the last possible second, probably using some of his vague NPC rogue abilities, if I had to guess. And Tohan, or I'm sorry, Ashnak is hit. Let's see, DC 12 save. Oh, uh-oh. So Ashnak begins uncontrollably guffawing, and the sound of this orc general commander laughing is probably the most unnerving sound you guys have heard in a long time. Like, it's almost as unnerving as when you heard Tiamat laughing about things. Like, this is not a guy who has done a lot of cheery laughing around you. He's more been, like, pretty serious. So when he laughs and begins snort laughing uncontrollably, it is really uncomfortable. Like, it's super cringy. But you are able to make it out of the balloon room. It's amazing, they even still float like balloons. And you are able to reach Arianth. You now feel the full power of this word as you enter a large chamber. I can finally unlock you guys and change the lift height back up again.
Does Ashnak, like, seem affected in it? I mean, is it like...
Is he following along with us?
He is, like, Red Shirte is able to kind of help him
I helped
along.
pick him up, too.
Yeah, like, he's not, like, immobile. He's just laughing hysterically.
I slap him.
As you guys enter the room, we will say it would begin his turn. We'll give him another saving throw and see if he's any use. Ah, he makes that one. Okay. So he is kind of, as you slap him, he sort of starts sombering up and realizing, like, Oh, geez, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me there. It's just old memory, I guess. Something. So as you guys enter this room, from a door that's not on this map because I was being lazy at the end of the planning session, um, you are immediately hit by the bright, bright lights and this music that is just pervasive throughout this chamber, and it is absolutely circus music, and it just keeps repeating over and over again. Um,
Meredith flies around looking for speakers to destroy, or
uh,
anywhere that the music is coming from to destroy it.
yeah, you don't see any sort of speaker system set up or anything. You do, however, begin to hear a voice. Uh, does anyone here speak Abyssal? I would say you can all recognize it by now as Abyssal because you've had some encounters with it.
No, I speak of Infernal.
I cast comprehend languages.
All right. So as the strange guttural language begins coming over this kind of invisible speakers, as you will, like no real speaker system to speak of, you hear something along the lines of, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to your doom." And as this music gets louder and louder, now coming down from the ceiling, suspended on what appears to be giant marionette strings, is the largest clown any of you have ever seen. And he lands on this large kind of podium, looks down at you, and lets out a terrifying roar. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 15, or be frightened of this clown. Jojo gonna make you laugh.
I got a 17.
22.
14.
Toan, I feel like that was inevitable. Right, and Ashnak just passes his. Red Shirte, however, he immediately falls to the ground and begins kind of quivering and sobbing and saying, "Let's get the fuck out of here." Arianth, you notice that the power of the word itself seems to be emanating most strongly from what appears to be a large kind of metal plate on the front of this clown, like as part of his costume. And you can actually see the word imprinted on his chest, sort of starting to glow in its strange language. But it does not seem like you are yet close enough to activate the word. We'll say each of these squares on this map is about 10 feet, because it's probably closer to that. So that you guys have some sense of perspective for this encounter. So yeah, Red Shirte's crying and soiling himself. Ashnak is reloading all of his weaponry. And let's roll some initiative.
Oh shit, I just got a nat 20.
11.
Nice.
I also got a nat 20.
Ooh.
For 23.
I got 22 on mine.
Okay, so we're going to do Tohan first, and Arianth. Maggie, what did you say you got?
11.
11. Red shirt guy goes last automatically. And just need to roll for Jojo and for Ashnak. Ashnak did okay. He got an 18. Which I think he actually gets a bonus too, but I don't think it's much. I don't have his stat sheet handy. We'll go with it. +4. Jojo only rolled a 12 with his bonus. 0. So the order is going to be Tohan, Arianth, Ashnak, Jojo, and Maggie, and then Red Shirt. And the clowns that were pursuing you kind of they open the door for a second. You see a gaggle of these clowns starting to walk in, and as they look up and they see Jojo, they just quietly close the door and back away.
Nice.
They even the clowns nope the fuck out at the presence of Jojo the Clownzilla. Alright, so it's going to be Tohan's turn first.
Okay. So I'm frightened.
Yes. You can, at the beginning of your turn, make a saving throw, however, to attempt to become unfrightened. It was DC 15.
I rolled a 17.
Okay. Rallying against your innate.
He's overcoming his fears. This is the story of growth here.
That's it. It's excellent.
Yeah, Tohan's gonna rage. And he's gonna try to fucking climb this thing.
Nice. Alright, so you're about 50 feet away from this thing right now.
Yeah, I'll use my dash action.
Okay.
And then I don't know if my spider climbing shoes will work on it.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's like any other giant structure. I don't know why I can't stand you up on top of him, but
yeah, I can move across vertical surfaces and upside downs, log ceilings. Yeah, as long as he's not a slippery surface, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll say you can make it about 10 feet up his leg. He's about 40 feet tall.
Okay.
So you're now right around his knee.
That's my turn.
Okay. Let's see. Next up is going to be Arianth.
I think the first thing I'm going to do is fly within. So you said I'm 50 feet away.
Yeah, roughly.
All right, I'm gonna fly within 25 feet and check and see if I can activate the word.
Okay. And as you get close to this guy, this thing begins to glow brighter and brighter, and you see that kind of effect take hold of the word's power sort of emanating off from the plate on his chest and zipping down towards the rod. And the clown just briefly looks down and pats at its chest as though something has gone horribly wrong with this, and he just brushes at it for a moment, but then the light is gone, and it sort of shrugs, begins kind of contemplating Tohan being on his knee, and this light rushes towards the staff, and as it does so, I open up my WordPad document that stores all my nifty stuff in it. The fourth word comes into being. It is Justitia, which roughly translates to justice, or let justice, I think. Something to that effect. So it says, though chaos reign, let justice.
Alrighty, so it really didn't affect the clown in any way.
No, it doesn't seem to have any physical effects on the clown at all. It just seemed to distract him for a moment as the word was pulled off from this piece. It seems to you like most likely maybe this was fashioned out of some part of this interior, like the temple itself when they were building the ship and thing, or the building their location, that he was perhaps kind of manufactured with this thing on him. He does seem to be moving quite mechanically, and again, he is suspended by these large marionette strings from the ceiling, and is moving in a fashion of a marionette with his arms swinging kind of back and forth.
How far is one of the strings from where I am?
Another 25 feet forward and probably 30 feet up. So maybe 40 feet total, 45 feet, something like that. I don't know. My Pythagorean theorem isn't very strong right now. We'll
All
say
right, so
we'll
if
say 40 feet.
so if I went another 25 feet up, I would be within 30 feet of one of the strings.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let me see here. I am going to attack one of the Mariette strings with my shocking grasp.
Okay.
If I can do that, if that's all right.
Yeah, you can absolutely target the strings.
All right, and that's a 25 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Now, what are the strings made out of curiosity?
They appear to be some kind of a high, like a tensile wire of some sort, like something similar like you would see to any sort of circus rigging.
Okay, so in the future, when if I attack another one, I should have an advantage on it
Okay,
since it's metal.
absolutely.
All right, so I do. Sorry, 1 second. That is 20 lightning damage.
Okay. Your lightning your electrical energy severs the cable, leaving one arm of this clown flopping wildly at its side now, and it lets out another sort of scream. And this again goes back to that sort of Wookiee Alvin and the Chipmunk noise, but it's very baritone and bass because this thing's so big. And it just kind of flails about, turns back and forth with its arm flopping for a moment. If that is your turn, it's going to be Ashnak up next. Ashnak is going to target the clown's nose with disadvantage. Which means he only rolled a 9, so that is a miss. Oh, he gets a second one of those, though. That was a 14. That does not hit him. Okay. So Ashnak missed with a 14, was his best roll. Now it is Jojo's turn. Jojo looks down at Tohan on his knee and brings his leg back and kicks extremely hard, trying to fling Tohan off his knee. So I'm going to say we'll do a strength versus dexterity. We'll do strength versus. We'll do a strength check first, like a
Saving throw or
no. We'll just do a contested strength check. So I'll roll a d20 with his strength modifier, which is a +6.
I got a natural 20, and I also have a +6, so 26.
Okay, so he swings with a total of 23. So he is like, I mean, he's already got one arm whipping around. Now he's flailing this opposite leg around, trying to kick you off from this leg. But you are able to just stick on this thing. Like you probably grab onto his pant leg, and you've got your boots of spider climbing. So theoretically, you probably would have had advantage on that anyway, on that strength check.
I would have, but I rolled a natural 20. I would have anyways because I was raging, and I had advantage on strength checks.
Yeah. So there was just no way you're letting go of this clown's knee. So we'll count that as his action. He looks down at the group of you, reaches behind his back, and he pulls out what appears to be a large custard pie. This thing is about 15 feet in diameter, probably, well, maybe 10 feet in diameter. It's a big pie that comes out from behind this giant marionette clown's back with his one good arm, and he launches it at Redshirte, Ashnak, and I believe Maggie would be in the range of it as well. That's going to be a 18. So anyone who that hits, which is going to be Red Shirte, not Ashnak. And Maggie, are you an 18 or below?
I think she's like 22 now.
Okay, so you are not hit by this. Red Shirte, however, is hit by this large custard pie and takes lots of damage. Plus 18. 3d6 plus 18. Oof. 14 and 18 is math. 32? Yeah. So he takes 32 acid damage from this pie. And has to roll Constitution saving throw. Got a natural 1 on it. And in true red shirt fashion, is melted away before your very eyes, standing next to Ashnak, like he took the full brunt of the pie for Ashnak. He looks up at Ashnak and says, General, I don't feel too good. And Ashnak's like, oh, like holds on to him for a minute. He's melting through his hands. Oh, deep cuts. Okay, so that's the clown's turn. It is now Maggie's turn. We can cross Red Shirt off the initiative.
Oh.
Come on, Internet. You all knew he was gonna die.
Maggie's feeling cool as hell.
Maggie, you can save him, right?
Like he's so dissolved. He's so
There's
dissolved. You can't even resurrect him.
Ashnak's yelling, "Medic! Medic!"
There isn't much there to save.
Yeah,
That
no,
is true, right? Like there's nothing.
He is a hot, steaming pile of goo. He has no chance.
Yeah.
Scoop some of them up, Ashnak.
Let's see. How far are they from the guy?
How far are Ashnak?
50 feet?
They're about 40 feet from the edge of him. They're a little bit closer. You're about 10 feet away from them, Maggie, if that's helpful. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see him on screen. I didn't realize. It's so weird how OBS, like my recording software, makes everything just a little bit bigger. I don't know. I might even have it set that way. I should probably figure that out. But some other time.
Right, and we didn't get a read on this dude's stats, right?
You did not.
Okay. All right. Well, she's gonna hit him in the nose with the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
But I guess she'll start with the guiding bolt. Well, actually, all right. She's gonna cast Hold Person and see what that does. So it's a Wisdom save 18.
Okay, let me look something up real quick. A humanoid that you can see within range. Okay, he is a humanoid. I just wanted to double check that because I didn't know if he was going to be like immune because of being fiendish or what. So yeah, I'm sorry. What? I just had it up. I don't know why I didn't just read it myself.
Wisdom 18.
Wisdom 18. Does not have any sort of stat boosts on its wisdom. That is a solid 8.
Nice. So he's paralyzed and he can reroll again at the end of each of his turns.
Yep. Okay, so this thrashing that he's been doing just comes to an immediate standstill, like just foomp, and he's just stuck kind of on one leg, very awkward angle. Like it almost looks like he should tip over, but he just isn't tipping over.
And then she throws that frying pan.
Okay, and I would say that I believe he would probably have advantage against him, canceling out the disadvantage.
Okay. 17.
So the frying pan hits him in the nose, and it does not seem to do damage to him with a 17.
Okay. All right. Yeah, she'll probably run over to. Narratively, she'll run over to check on Red Shirt, but that's the end of her turn.
Yeah. You literally just see his bright red shirt that he was wearing and a pile of goo, and that's it. It's just like it's
just
red.
floating. It's the only thing not touched.
It just floated up out of the pile of goo is the red shirt.
She thinks for a second, maybe this red shirt counts as part of his body, and then like no.
Could be some sweat mixed in there. I don't know. So let's see if that is your turn, Maggie. It would have been Red Shirt's turn. Rest in peace, Red Shirt. Tohan, up on one knee.
Yep, I'm gonna climb all the way up to the top, and I'm gonna try to swing at some of these strings hanging down.
Okay.
Recklessly, Great Weapon Master. That's a 27 to hit.
That hits.
$39 damage.
Oh yeah, you just explode this string apart. Like it just strands of cables go flying everywhere. So this one was controlling the leg on the same side as you were standing on, the same side that the arm was no good on, I guess. So he now has a leg and an arm severed from connectivity. So even in his hold person state, like the cable still droops down, but he's still suspended there at this awkward, weird angle. So reckless attack.
I'm gonna go for another one if possible. So 31 to hit the second one.
Absolutely hits. Yep.
40 damage.
Yeah, you blow this other string out of existence. Just explodes the cable. And that one was going to his second leg, we'll say, so he's now down an arm and both legs. And does Great Weapon Master let you continue on after a second kill?
I didn't know if these count as a kill, but they do. It does.
I'll count them as a kill. So he's got one string remaining. So if you'd like to go after
okay, 22 to hit.
That hits. Don't hold out much hope for JoJo.
I'm going to reroll damage because I'm a savage attacker. That's a lot better. 41 damage.
Yeah. So it's like you hit the string and it doesn't quite break at first, and you just grit your teeth and saw the rest of the way through it. I mean, they're fairly thick cables probably, but you know, if the axe got a little stuck or something, you're like, just push the rest of the way and it snaps. Yes, you are now on a giant hold-personed marionette clown, absolutely enraged, and have destroyed all four of these strings. Is it just keep going until you don't kill someone?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I think that'd be too powerful.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how many that it did.
I think I just get one extra.
Okay.
Total.
All right, so you are. Is that Toan's turn then?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Arianth, you are up. you can hear Reggie kind of calling in the background, like, "Oh, Miss Ariant, I detected that you've gained the fourth word in the staff. Is everything going well?"
Uh, you could say that, besides the giant killer clown we've been fighting.
Oh dear. Do you need any assistance? Shall I send Nib and Nob on the drill dozer?
Well, I think we got it pretty well under control. Though if you could lock on to beam us up if we need it, that would, if possible, that would be great.
Oh yes, that shouldn't be a problem. I think we've got now the ship sorted and in order, so we'll be awaiting your request.
All right, thanks, Reggie. I I use my free action to broadcast that information to everybody.
Okay. And yeah, this clown is still frozen right now. You guys have got what you came for.
All right. I ask everybody if there's any reason that anybody wants to say, or if we should just get the hell out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Can I just do a quick perception roll to see if I notice anything else interesting in the room that I might want to grab before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. And 1 second.
Got a 13.
We see exits out of this room aside from where we came.
You do see several exits out of the room.
Well, I got Reggie ready to beam us up, so it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, correct. He said he's got a lock on you guys, and it shouldn't be an issue.
I got a 13.
Okay. Let me just bring up a quick little loot gen tool and see what we got. Right, here we go. So you discover, all shoved into a small closet in one of the areas of this room, there is chests with nearly innumerable coinage in them. There is about 31,000 gold pieces, roughly by your estimate, in various platinum and gold coins, and also several art objects worth about 250 gold apiece, or 1,500 total. And all of these things seem to be remnants of the Temple of the Winddukes, things that were left here long ago, as though undiscovered for a long time before these clowns showed up and made their home here, um, including a silver necklace with a gemstone pendant, large, well-made tapestry. The silver necklace with the gemstone pendant is worth 250 gold, and you actually find two of those. Sorry.
Can I just quickly start shoving this all into my bag of holding?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a large, well-made tapestry worth 250 gold. A silk robe with gold embroidery, also worth 250 gold. You find a gold bird cage with some electrum filigree all around it, and a brass mug with a jade inlay. Each of those is also worth 250 gold, because apparently this generator really wanted to make things worth that much. Oh, okay, I see. That is the 250 gold piece art objects that came up. There we go. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
And let me copy paste that into chats for you guys.
And just assume that I just work as fast as I can to shove it all in my bag of holding. So, and then once I have it all, if everybody's agreeable, I tell Richie to beam us out.
Absolutely. Incoming chat. Let's see if this works and actually pastes it correctly. Alright, yes. So a total of 32,500 gold piece worth of coins, art objects, and or gems as follows. So hopefully you guys can read that. So it is 1,500 platinum pieces, 16,000 gold pieces, and 6 art objects worth 250 gold each. And there's a list of
Cool.
the art objects. They're all in chat. Let's see. So yeah, as soon as you are done collecting this, right around the time you're done collecting it anyway, several of the clowns begin walking in, and this entire time Jojo has remained hold-personed. As they walk in, Jojo finally makes his saving throw and collapses in a pile on the floor, unable to move without his marionette strings guiding him. The clowns begin to kind of circle in just as Reggie activates the teleportation, and you see them all look up kind of as you are beamed out of the room. The last thing that you see is them all watching you sort of being beamed away, and one of them raises a big pulls a tissue out of his pocket and goes to blow his nose with it and hands it to the guy next to him, and it continues to pull out a chain of tissues as they pass this one tissue around amongst them until there's a long chain of tissues, and it's just clowns making sad faces and blowing their nose and making weird Alvin and the Chipmunk Chewbacca noises. You are teleported back to the Serenity, upon which, hearing your tale, Reggie says, "Oh, my, yes, those are quite vicious fellows, I hear, those space clowns. Hopefully we haven't done anything that would make them be aggressive towards us in the future. They're known for not letting go of grudges. But anyway, yes, so I've deduced the coordinates for our next location. If you'd like to set sail, we can be off and away from this awful place. Nib and Nob seem to have repaired the engines, and I believe Venadia was working on a few things below decks as well.
Well, unless anybody else has anything to do, I'm down with getting going.
Ashnak, you got any more of those Moabs?
Ashnak kind of thinks for a minute, and he's like, "Well, you see, I didn't have any more of the big girls. You know what I mean? I didn't none of the stuff like we were using on that floating citadel thing. But I did happen to have a few of these in my possession as we were walking about down there." And he opens up his coat, and you see that he's got what appears to be a large block of plastic explosive. And he's like, "Yep, figured I'd place about maybe 2 or 3 in each room as we were walking around. Didn't feel like alerting you guys, need to know basis, that sort of thing. But what do you say, Tohan? Do the honors." And he hands you a box with a big red button on it.
I just smile and as I push the button.
Nice. Yeah, and as the Serenity coasts away into wild space and beyond, looking over the ship's stern, you just see the world, like on the surface of the world, this massive explosion coming out of where you guys are leaving, and Reggie begins preparing for hyperspace jump, spelljamming, whatever you want to call it. He prepares to go into his warp mode, and as he does so, you see what appears to be several small vehicles floating up from the surface of the planet, flying up behind you. And just before Reggie goes into his hyper jump, you see that these are all very small, sort of metal carriages. We would identify them as Volkswagen Beetles. And you see at least 15 to 20 clowns packed into each one. You can only assume that they were giving pursuit to the person who killed their god, Jojo, the demon prince of clowns. And Reggie takes off, and you guys are free to leave Clownspace. You are now headed towards your next destination, the 5th destination of the Temples of the Wind Dukes of Aki, I believe. And yeah, that's probably as good a stopping point as any. This is when I totally should have had the Killer Clowns from Outer Space music queued, but again, I was running late on my DM prep, and plus, they'd probably just sue me anyways. Hit me with a copyright claim, whatever. Yeah, so this was originally going to be my Halloween one-shot type deal, was going to be the Killer Clowns thing, but I absolutely could not figure out for the life of me how to do a Killer Clown map based on the ship. So hopefully I actually hit all the beats from the movie.
I admittedly have not seen the movie, but I'm
So
You guys have got to do yourselves a favor. Go look it
pretty
up.
sure Jake has.
It's somewheres. There's definitely Killer Clowns from Outer Space floating around on one of the streaming services out there, or if not, I could probably hit you guys with a link to a slightly shady site that I like to use.
No doubt, I'll have to check into that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Jake might even own it.
It is an amazing B horror movie. If all 12 of our internet viewers, 13 of our internet viewers, I think, I don't know, minus the 4 of you who are subscribed that play in the game every week. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, do yourself a favor. It's amazing. Terrible and amazing.
Terribly awesome.
Yeah.
is it the like horror comedy mashup kind of thing?
I think it is the quintessential B horror movie comedy from the 80s. Like, I really... Hang on, let's see. I might even be able to pull up a trailer for it, because I'm sure that they've got that on YouTube.
I was going to say, my parents would never let me rent that from Lippies.
Oh,
so.
it was the most amazing... I love this movie so much. Let's see. Let's see if we do Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It should come right up with a trailer. Oh, well, would you look at that? There's actually there's a full movie on YouTube on a random channel, so...
That's... So wait, so the Space Jammer thing like actually does introduce space clowns, right? As a
Yes, and they are quite literally based on this property. I
Okay.
can say without a doubt in my mind, as a fan of both intellectual properties, this is some crossover shit going on.
Yeah.
I will say I added a few of the abilities to the stat block because it meshed more with the movie, like the pies and things. I actually didn't have an opportunity to use a couple things, or didn't think to use a couple.
But that's why I'm sending him after us.
Okay, so let's see. If I go into OBS, I should be able to add a window capture, or at least change the properties of this window capture. Bam. Okay, so let's go with this and full screen it. And you guys should be able to see it.
It was a night like any other night.
Can you guys see that
Then
okay?
something happened.
You see that?
Something different.
It's no shooting star.
Why here? Why now? Why clowns? They've been knocking him dead all over the universe.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
Soon they'll be doing it at a theater near you.
Killer clowns from outer space.
Pizza?
Maybe they're just cruising through the galaxy and stopped here for a bite to eat.
You don't need a police, pal. You need a psychiatrist.
Oh yeah, this is one to definitely get really stoned for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They want to play games? You're messing with the wrong guy.
What are you in for?
Killer clowns from outer space.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite all-time movies as far as B horror movies from the 80s goes. Like it was I grew up on that movie being in like heavy rotation on HBO at my grandmother's house when I was probably like 10 years old. Probably not a safe movie for a 10-year-old to watch nowadays, but we all know that the 80s were much cooler than now, and 10-year-olds were awesome and could watch things like that without being affected by it too badly.
I think my favorite BTV movie of that time would be Troll.
Yeah, Troll was another one that was in heavy rotation, and Troll 2, as a matter of fact, was the one I remember seeing all the time.
But which one was the one where they end up going in the house and the house turns into the trolls like forest and shit?
Yeah, that was the first one, I think.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, the second one was way more campy. It was like really bad acting. I remember there was a scene where the troll poisons the dinner and the kid jumps up on the table and pisses all over dinner and stuff. It was a really fucking bad movie, but it was awesome.
I don't think I saw Troll 2 then.
Yeah,
it was definitely the first one I remember.
It was definitely like one of those classic like money grab movies where it was just like, oh, the first one was kind of popular as like a cult movie. Let's make a sequel.
Yep.
There was so many of those movies that like that again, this being what was supposed to be like the Halloween special kind of. Like I grew up on all kinds of movies like that. House was one, like the original like House series of movies, like about the haunted house.
I never saw that, but I distinctly remember the VHS cover for that movie of that creepy ass hand pushing
the doorbell. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, House was a scary ass movie about a haunted house. House 2 was a campy ass movie about some guys that move into that same house many years later as like, I don't know, I think they're like nephews of the original one that was in the haunted house. And yeah, things like movies like that I think will always hold a special spot in my heart just because they were so campy and so cheesy and such obvious like property money grabs. Like, oh, people like that movie, let's just pump out a second one real quick.
Yep. There's a lot. Yeah, there's tons of movies like that in the 80s.
Yeah, and for some reason the sequels always got that campiness just about perfect. Like the second movie in the series always was like the best one. Like what was the other one that I was just thinking of?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, that was another. Yeah, the first one was like, yes, it wasn't a very serious horror movie, but the second one, Return of the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, was way more campy.
Critters.
Critters was another one where the first one took itself seriously and the second one was like more of a gaff. Even Gremlins. Gremlins was a classic horror movie and Gremlins 2 was such schlock and I loved every second of it.
Oh, as a kid, I loved Gremlins 2. I'm not gonna lie, all the different personalities.
You get that one gremlin with the mohawk.
Yep. The lady gremlin.
Yeah.
The lady gremlin who I believe seduces like the assistant in the movie or something towards the end of it.
Yep, I think I vaguely remember that. It's been so long since I've seen that.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Like, and I think this was my best effort at a tribute towards Killer Clowns, and yeah, I think that
Police Academy got pretty campy too.
Yeah, Police Academy was one of those. Well, that started off as a rompy comedy or whatever. It was more like a like Porky's or Revenge of the Nerds or something like that, and then it got like real crazy towards the end.
I rewatched the first one, and I didn't remember seeing so much racial overtones that are in that movie, but there's a lot of racial overtone stuff in the first Police Academy. And the second one they introduced Bobcat Goldthwait, as comic relief.
Yeah. Yep. I think it was the third one that had Tony Hawk and a bunch of like old school pro skaters were in that as like the bad guy skate gang. And they're actually skating through New York City filming that whole thing or wherever they were. It was New York or Detroit.
Oh shit! I don't even remember the third one. I have to admit. I think I definitely saw the first two. I don't think I saw many beyond that.
Yeah, I think the fourth one they're in like Florida and they end up doing like a like fan boat chase scene.
Yeah, there's some nuttiness, and yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was like that in the '80s. That was I will always have just fond memories of growing up at my grandparents' house, like sitting there in the afternoons after school and stuff, and watching just these raunchy movies that I absolutely should not have been watching at that age. And now I'm like, hey, like what good movies can I watch with my kid? And I think back to what I was watching at that age, and I go, I totally can't watch that with her. Like,
Yeah, a lot of the movies that we watched as kids in the 80s would not fly for kids today.
well, it's like I brought up getting those Howard the Duck comics earlier, and I was thinking, oh, I could totally watch Howard the Duck with her, and then I'm like, wait, how much of Leah Thompson's boobs do I see in that movie? Like,
Yeah, that movie was definitely not meant to be PG.
yeah, it was a weird movie for that reason alone. Like they broadcast it as being like kind of like a kids movie, but it was definitely not a kids movie.
No.
I've never even heard of Howard the Duck. What is it?
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
It's a
god!
classic.
Yeah, you definitely should. I don't know if there's anywhere streaming it right now, but if there is, definitely go back and watch it.
A
It's an
lot of the
experience.
times you can find stuff like that just on YouTube if you just type it in. Somebody's got it on their channel, even if they're not supposed to. Sorry,
Sure.
YouTube, that's the truth.
Oh yeah, no, I'm yeah, I can find it. I'm sure.
All right, guys, I got to get up super early in the morning, so
Yeah, same.
take care. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yeah, it was
All right.
fun. Definitely. Night, Nick.